This is like Felix Felicis right here.
It tastes good. That's the gold. Everything is good.
Yep.
Good luck. Wow.
That's why everything's going to work really well this
good.
podcast. No tech issues.
It's just because you're drunk. That's why everything goes well for you, because you don't even know what's going on.
That's really what liquid luck is.
Yeah, the liquid.
It's just really strong alcohol, so everything just feels like it's euphoria.
Everything is just great.
Is that what it is in the books? Did I miss that?
No, that's my interpretation.
Yeah, we don't know,
Good headcanon.
Because I'm like,
I was like, is that what they're doing? They're just, I was going to say drugging the kids. That's not.
But
Good
they
Lord.
basically did do that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
True.
Yep. And it is
Maybe
actually
they are.
like they say that you shouldn't take liquid luck all the time, but I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of times where they should just take it. Like half the times when they're going to get a Horcrux.
There's a lot of times they should just.
Like, why not?
Like, when you're in these crazy like heists when you're trying to get a Horcrux.
Yep.
Just knock back some liquid luck and everything's going to go good for you. Why don't they do that?
Why didn't Dumbledore
Why don't they do that?
Maybe Dumbledore.
I don't know. Ask them.
Yeah, I know. Come on, guys.
Send them a text. Hey, Hermione.
That is weird. Should have went to Slughorn to get more.
I know, that's true.
I can use it for
Can
everything.
we trust him?
Yeah, I was gonna. That's a question.
Why? You just point me to the.
Of course you would ask that. That's where you go.
It's funny how all my questions really have transitioned through this book. My questions now are: do we trust this person?
Yeah.
Just because of Danny.
Well, yeah, especially him. He's the. By the end of this chapter, we're like, ooh, do we trust him?
We
all of us collectively, right, guys?
He was in this chapter.
I need a refresher.
This is why the questions are funny. I'm like, who was in this chapter?
So
again?
You still don't trust him?
Danny doesn't trust anyone.
I know.
It's kind of
So
true,
it's
but
not
here's
really
the thing.
That big of a deal.
What's not fair, what is fair but feels weird, is that part of the reason I don't trust him is because subconsciously I don't trust Dumbledore. Dumbledore is the one who brought him in. But then again, Dumbledore may have only needed him to get the information about Horcruxes, and it was maybe never trust. But he did go to him even when they were, well, I guess he thought he was being chased by Death Eaters and stuff. So there's something weird going on. And I'm like, I don't know. But then I wasn't that psyched about the way he was acting when they were sacking Snape.
For sure. He was like slow on the run. He got there late,
Yep. And it felt a little on purpose.
Yeah, we'll talk about that line. That's
So,
but you don't trust Dumbledore.
No, you know what? I would love to say that I do, but in the way I'm interpreting certain things, upon reflection, I realize I do not fully trust him, or I would be viewing some of this stuff differently.
and that's why he hasn't shared a lot of information.
Yeah, because he didn't share. But even the stuff with Aberforth, where I'm like, oh, his own brother does not have the best view of him. Thought he had bad motives with his sister, and then we kind of are comparing that to Harry. And whether it's manipulation or like pride or whatever else. And then even though everything with Grindelwald, we're left with more questions. So by the end of whatever book, I'll say 5, definitely 6, we're left thinking like, wow, Dumbledore's the best. We love Dumbledore. But then since then, it's been a pretty sharp decline down of like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Did he know about this? Did he know about that? Was it wise to listen to him and not tell anyone about this hunt for Horcruxes? Was he giving advice that should be adhered to like without question, or is it smarter to question?
And another one, you're like, what is he hiding? Because he was hiding things in his personal life. So was he hiding something from Harry? Is Dumbledore really the wizard that they need to like the throne rather than?
And it's not like
really
is he hiding
last few
things.
chapters.
He is hiding things. The question is how much and why. So I don't know. But accidentally, I don't trust Dumbledore. That much.
Accidentally.
No, I shouldn't even say that much. Not fully. I'll call it 85%.
It's going to be a very fun discussion that we're going to have on Dumbledore when all is said and done.
But I feel bad. I want to trust him.
Did Tony put a thing in your mind? Plant a seed.
Maybe. What did he say again?
Yeah, I forget, but...
Yeah, I remember that.
He said something about... Well, you know what else, though? I think Tony was being a little clever and trying to lean into the story of that book. That's what I thought as he said it. But Maybe it's better I don't
What did he
remember what
say?
he said.
Yeah,
It was something. Yeah, it was like something about Dumbledore.
Like manipulating and
but I thought he was
something
being a
else.
little cheeky about like trying to play devil's advocate or be like, well, I don't know. What do you think about this? I didn't think of him as being like giving an honest commentary on all the books. I thought of it more of like he was leaning into my lack of knowledge and poking fun at like, you don't know anything. Can you trust him? Kind of like John does to us every time.
Lizzie,
Maybe.
who I do this podcast with, another person, she lambasts me because she's like, you just gaslight me every single time we do this podcast. I'm like, yeah, it's
I feel like
true.
that's
I'm
my
sorry.
way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What do we do on this podcast? But I'll ask all these questions when we get there. But welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
Jen.
Danny.
And Kristen.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. We're just discussing one chapter, so this is gonna go super quick, guys. But discussing one chapter, then we're listening, so it should be
nice.
It should go the same length as a normal podcast. But this chapter kind of opens up with McGonagall and the Carrows. But what is your impression of the Carrows, and what is your impression of McGonagall here? We're gonna talk about all the people that kind of pop up in this chapter and
what
do
is
we
the
trust them or
summary?
not. So when Harry goes in, remember the chapter? Oh yeah, sorry, we forgot to do it.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm
the
trying
big
to
time.
You're like, what is the summary of what we're going through? Yeah, what's the summary of this chapter?
I didn't write one either.
I didn't
but
write one.
I think with our collective minds, we can get there.
Yes.
So obviously the title is The Sacking of Severus Snape. And that is the end result of the chapter, but it's about how we get there. Like you said with McGonagall, and they were in the Ravenclaw common room. And then they kind of had a kerfuffle with the one Carrow, and then the other one was coming. And it was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like one thing after another where it kept escalating and we weren't sure, and then we didn't know how everyone else was going to react, but Harry's saying, I need your help, McGonagall, and then all of a sudden Snape's there and a fight's breaking out, and it felt like the tension of some of these teachers, even Flitwick getting involved, where Snape was genuinely scared, like he kind of bolted, and then we're left with feeling like Horace didn't react the best. So this is like the chapter of just back-to-back action, lots of suspense, not knowing how things were going to turn, because once things start going, it gets a little hectic.
It does get a little hectic, yeah.
But nobody died. Nobody's in a... Wait, actually, what happened with the Carrows? Where are they? They're knocked
strung,
out?
Yeah, they're strung
Yeah,
upside
okay,
down.
good. So only
Ravenclaw
bad
tower,
guys ended up in comas or magical comas.
And this is when Percy comes back at the end of the chapter too, so we kind of love that. That's a nice little addition.
Oh, that's right.
So there's a few other things. Yeah, we'll talk about all those kind of things, but good summary. But what is your initial impression of McGonagall and the Carrows? The Carrows seem crazy, especially because So the chapter kind of opens. They touch the mark, and then Luna comes and stuns them. McGonagall then comes in with the other sibling of the Carrows, and they want to blame the touching of the dark mark on the students, and McGonagall's like, no way.
Oh, yeah.
She has this great line, and she says, we can push it off on the kids, said Amicus, his pig-like face suddenly crafty. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll say Electo was ambushed by the kids, them kids up there. He looked up at the starry ceiling toward the dormitories, and we'll say they forced her to press her mark, and that's why he's got a false alarm. He can punish them. Couple of kids, more or less, what's the difference? The only difference between truth and lies, courage and cowardice, said Professor McGonagall.
Oh, great
who had
line.
turned pale. A difference, in short, which you and your sister seem unable to appreciate. But let me make one thing very clear. You are not going to pass off your many ineptitudes on the students of Hogwarts. I shall not permit it.
Nice.
Go McGonagall.
Oh, she's great.
Yep.
What do you think of the Carrows, and what do you think of McGonagall here?
They remind me of the brothers that were with the Draco Malfoy. Or maybe they're not brothers.
Oh, Crabbe and Goyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they remind me of.
Yeah.
But grown up. In size, stature. Maybe not their mind.
Yeah.
I love McGonagall here, though. Her standing up for
Oh, the kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kids.
She was clever too, though. I forget. Didn't she say like how they got in? I don't remember. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Wasn't she like playing it off though with like the one Carrow?
McGonagall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she made it like a store. I don't know. But it's nice that she sticks up for them and is protecting them.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about this part where she says, "But isn't your sister in there? Didn't Professor Flitwick let her in earlier this evening at your urgent request? Perhaps she could open the door for you. Then you needn't wake up half the castle."
She's being cheeky. Yeah, it's great.
Yes, that was it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think there was something she did. I remember.
And then there's another like kind of shocking moment in this chapter where it says it's not a case of what you'll permit, Minerva McGonagall. Your time's over. It's us what's in charge here now, and you'll back me up or you'll pay the price. And he spat in her face.
Ugh.
Harry pulled a cloak off himself, raised his wand, and said, "You shouldn't have done that." As Amicus spun around,
I love that
Harry
part.
shouted, "Crucio." What do you think about that? Harry's using the unforgivable curse. He's used one before, but what do you think about him
You should
using
practice.
the Crucio
I
curse?
think it's a good thing.
Oh my.
He's defended Mama McGonagall.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And
I
it
don't
didn't
know.
really do anything. I mean, didn't fully work, right?
No, it did, because he said, "I see what Bellatrix meant. You really need to mean it." I took
Right.
that as it like worked.
Yeah.
He killed. Wait, I don't remember.
No, wait, what is?
It's like torture.
Yeah, torture.
bottom.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah.
crucifying.
Oh.
Torture, not that.
Yeah.
But what did he? Oh, really?
So we tortured them, and him in that moment.
Did you take it a different way?
I
Like it
took
didn't
it
work?
as like it like stunned them kind of and didn't really like fully work.
And that's why he's saying, "Oh, you have to mean it," because Harry maybe didn't really mean it.
Yeah, he was like it wasn't coming across like I was like, "Oh, I tried, but like you really have to mean it because I thought I did, but it didn't work as well as I wanted it to."
I feel like that is a fair point because it happened so fast. I almost took it more like Harry meant it a lot, that it knocked him out. Like it sent him flying across the room
Knocked who out?
into the front of a bookcase, crumpled, insensible
Harry.
on the floor.
So
the-
it worked too well.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was so instant where I'm thinking of a lot of the other instances where we see Crucio. It's somebody on the floor in pain, just like wriggling around, like trying to make it stop somehow.
Yeah,
But this was like just 1 second and he got blasted across the room, which felt
But you
different.
think that worked?
I'm thinking Harry was so angry that it was like an extreme Crucio. Maybe.
It's not how but...
Or there was some wandless magic. He was doing a combo thing, combo
there you
curse. Because we just haven't seen Crucio work like this before.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it did.
Yeah, maybe not. But it still had
Maybe
an
you're right.
effect that
No,
was
I know,
good.
but he went yeah. I always see it as like they're like in excruciating pain, like asking them to stop, whereas he just
Right.
But it
right.
says he writhed through the air like a drowning man, thrashing and howling in pain, and then with a crunch and a shattering of glass, he smashed.
Smashed.
Oh boy, he smashed into the front of a bookcase and crumpled, insensible, to the floor.
maybe I just missed that.
Could have been a mixture.
Yeah.
Maybe an ethical question here. What do you do in the face of someone like that? So these people are some of the most reprehensible in the entire book, but you don't get a lot of page time with them. They're torturing students and they're telling other students to torture them. Like they're doing this to kids. So what does Harry do in this case? Do you fight evil with evil here? Do you like Crucio them because they cruciate other people? Like, do you like kill them here immediately? Or
I don't know about killing.
what do you do? Yeah, I don't know about killing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Everything else leading up to it, maybe because there's no you can't reason with these people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
What would Dumbledore do? WWDD, you know? WWDD. I feel like he would use controlled magic. Like this feels like emotion and like anger and a lot of other things. I feel like Dumbledore would think it through more, I'm saying rationally. So again, thinking of the right way to handle it. Because how do you love someone to death, you know, or love them to life? I don't know. So I don't know if there is another option except fighting fire with fire a little bit.
But he did when they were at the Ministry.
Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Well, but he also didn't, though. He didn't Crucio anybody. When he went even after like people are dying, he was like wrapping people up with ropes and kind of like capturing them.
I guess that's kind of what.
But it only works if you're in control. And Harry is lucky he didn't get anyone killed. You know, like when you start fighting like this, he's got to just shut this thing down.
Okay, but what's the age difference between Harry?
I was gonna say we're talking about kids here, though,
and skill difference too. But I'm just saying theoretically, like what is the right approach? I guess we're saying, and even the way we talk about it, the right approach is making sure that this evil person has zero time to continue being evil. So if that means knocking them out by sending them flying in pain across the room, and then tying them magically up, then so be it.
Dumbledore didn't really think things through.
You don't think so?
Well, like in certain battles, yes, but like I don't think he did a great job with like a plan for Harry. And if things go wrong, do X, Y, and Z.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what opens at what close. Because these are the things where I'm like, does he have a plan? Because you're kind of right. I'm even thinking of when Fudge was in his office and he did that big like wham bam and then flew away. He had like that cool moment. Yeah, it was a big old thank you, ma'am. And I felt like that was another example of he didn't cause, I don't think he caused pain, but he had thought through what he was going to do and was able to execute it just quickly and kind of, you know, instantly. And I don't think we've seen him cause pain. Have we?
Dumbledore?
Wait. Was there something... I'm trying to think of when this happened where he was going... It was left blank. We needed an answer. He went somewhere and came back with an answer, and it left us wondering, did he torture somebody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what was the thing? That's the only time I can think of off the top of my head.
He needed to get the memory of Ogden, I think. Was it that? When
that could have been. Where
it was? I think it was a memory. I think he was going off to get someone's memory.
Yes, you're right. It was a memory.
And I think you guys had the suggestion, how did he get that memory? He might have tortured the person and gotten the memory.
Right. It also could have been mind reading or something else.
Yeah.
But then we felt like from what we've seen of Dumbledore, he might not have been okay with mind reading. It might have been a breach of privacy.
Torture, but not mind
reading. Yeah. So we're like, what did he do? How did he do this? Yeah, you're right. That was it. I don't know. So you think Dumbledore didn't really have a plan? He might have been down. He might have endorsed Harry's action here.
I'm a person that likes a plan, and I want to know why. So like it would be really hard for me to do anything off of what he gave. The clues he gave, I'd be like
the clues are
I don't really know. And then also it's like he said to hunt Horcruxes, but like even when you're dead, or should we be doing something else when you pass? I don't know.
Yep.
Or maybe he's not dead.
I mean, when we had a blue eye in a mirror,
and like,
we had
why
a little
didn't
more to
he
go
see
on,
that? Maybe he did see that. Like, did he know he was gonna die when he went with Harry?
Did he know something was going to close, and it was going to be not a close, but the close, and it was a prophecy of some kind? Maybe.
Wait, the close. Gosh. What is the close?
Well, I don't know, because the way he says the close, it could be just like in an idea of something closing. It's it's the close of business,
the close of a door.
But he also could be saying the close, like in a
now it just sounds like close.
There was like a moment
when one of them died.
Yeah, when
Harry,
he etched it wrong. He opened it
Harry
the
oh my god! When Harry and Voldemort battle, and one of them dies, it opens.
But what would that be the close of? The close of a prophecy? But how does a prophecy...
It's like the closing of their life.
Could a prophecy... like that's a loose way.
It opens
and end a book.
I'm just trying to think of what... Because again, it's like the close. Not when there is a close. the close?
Like close close.
Closed captioning? Like turn the subtitles on?
When he's close. What about that?
I open at the close.
Could it be close? Could it be close?
We've been saying it wrong this whole time. At the close.
It sounds weird.
I'm like, I can't picture what that would mean. You'd have to be introduced to a whole other wizarding concept for that to make sense.
No.
But maybe we would be. It's a game called Close and Far. you be the far, you be the close. Yeah. Chase me around. It's just
open at the close. See?
I can't think of a way that it could be that, but I'm trying to get there. Got nothing.
It's like Hermione had to be spelled out correctly.
Yeah, Hermione. Oh, man, I don't know, but I like that Harry was willing to stand up for McGonagall. It came from a good place.
She thinks it was foolish. She almost fell over when Luna popped out. Even she needed a seat. And then when it's lovely because when Harry kind of explains things to her, he's like, she goes, "You're acting on Dumbledore's orders," she repeated with a look of dawning wonder. Then she drew herself up to her fullest height. "We shall secure the school against he who must not be named while you search for this object."
Nice.
Is that possible? I think so, said Professor McGonagall dryly. "We teachers are rather good at magic, you know. I'm sure we will be able to hold them off for a while if we all put our best efforts into it. Of course, something will have to be done about Professor Snape." Then it says she marched toward the door, and as she did so, she raised her wand. From the tip burst 3 silver cats with spectacle markings around their eyes. The patronuses ran sleekly ahead, filling the spiral staircase with silvery light as Professor McGonagall, Harry, and Luna hurried back down. Completely unrelated question, but because it brings up patronuses again, I'm going to ask you guys some just general theory stuff before we get into the next chapter, because a lot of stuff happens in the next chapter. What was the silver doe? Was it a patronus? If it was a patronus who cast it, was it something other than a patronus?
What did we say the first time? It was.
We said it was
because we thought someone was behind the trees.
Yes. Somebody was behind the tree.
So who was it?
Well,
but could it be an animagus person? Because isn't it McGonagall?
Yeah,
silvery white animagus. That would
the only issue is it was silvery white. So everything that we've read to this point leads us to believe that it was a patronus. But because Danny is so untrusting, it might not be a patronus.
Do we know Moody's patronus? Because I was thinking about it this week, and I would love to see Moody alive.
That'd be weird.
But I just can't think of why he wouldn't come out.
Female, no.
Whoever it was, I can't think of why they wouldn't come out. But again, it made me think things like,
or is it a ghost?
Grindelwald and whatever. But honestly, that's not a bad idea. And that's what we were saying too.
An animal ghost?
Potentially.
Can you come back as your patronus as a ghost?
Interesting.
Right, because we don't know a lot about it, but we do know that like there can be ghosts and there can be spirits and things like that were coming out of the wand.
Didn't I say it's Harry's mom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that falls in there.
Right, and that's the kind of thing that we're like, well, we don't even know. Priori incantatum, the ghosts come out of the wand. What happens to those ghosts then? Do they just disappear? Or can they hold on to Earth for a little while longer and try and help their son as he battles the Dark Lord?
But that would be like Horcrux-ish, holding on to Earth for a little bit longer.
It kind of would be, that's true.
But he's always said
but what happens to their spirit? Do they just fade away?
Has a positive Horcrux.
yeah.
Whatever that is.
I don't actually think that's true though, because how would you split your soul positively?
Oh my gosh.
You
You're
love
the
someone
one
to
that
death?
brought it up. I'm just repeating it.
He was heartbroken after Ariana. I forgot. I think I said that.
Yeah. See? He could just talk to himself.
Yes. But the point is, I don't know who it could be, but it also could be
word clues.
Godric Gryffindor.
I think Godric Gryffindor is.
Yeah, because the energy of the sword.
Well,
wouldn't his patronus be a lion?
Oh wait, is that true?
Like I feel like his would be a lion if anything else, because
it would make a lot of sense.
What if it's a goblin patronus?
Can you do a patronus without a wand?
I got him.
And what would a goblin patronus
throws out these random theories, and then he's like, "Ooh,
I like this."
Which goblin?
If it was a goblin patronus, could it be a human?
It wasn't though.
I know. I'm just thinking theoretically.
What about? I was also thinking about the centaurs, right?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Because they're part
doe.
That is not they're a horse.
I
No,
know.
that's another breed.
That's what
They're
I'm
the
saying.
hobbits
It's
of
a
the centaur
horse, but
community.
it's like similar to a horse.
Oh my gosh.
We only know the big regal centaurs, but there are the less popular ones that are
They're dope.
Aren't
Yeah,
those
exactly.
what was Mr. Tumnus a fawn?
Yeah.
Oh, I hated
yeah.
that guy. It freaked me out.
Classic Mr. Tumnus.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm just picturing
Or
James
someone-
McAvoy at the moment.
Someone that knew about the sword.
He was
that
Mr. Tumnus.
Oh.
Who knew about the sword, though?
What?
Why James McAvoy?
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. They have
I
to know about the
nothing
sword.
what you guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah. But the sword. Who knows about the sword? And was someone trying to bring
I feel
Harry
like it has
to
to
it?
be a Gryffindor, like someone older that knows the.
So it could be someone who can conjure the sword.
Yeah, I guess.
But then why
Yeah.
couldn't Harry conjure the sword? Is there someone who's more Gryffindor than Harry?
What
who had
could
a
it
need of
be?
it?
Fox's Patronus.
Fox has a Patronus, and it's a different animal. Wow,
Fox
this is
brought
intense.
the hat. Oh, the hat.
The
sorting hat.
The sorting hat
The
has a
sorting hat was
Patronus?
behind the tree right there.
He
Hopping
wants
along.
every theory, so here
No,
you go.
yeah, keep them coming.
Well, only because when Harry was in trouble, Fox brought the hat that had the sword in it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not that far.
So he dropped it in the lake and then hopped behind a tree, waited for it to come.
Or who came up with the magic for the hat? Gryffindor.
You think Gryffindor?
Godric.
Godric Gryffindor?
Didn't they
Wouldn't
all
it have to be
create the
all of them?
hat?
Yeah, I was going to say
I know,
all
but
together.
I'm saying part of it. Or what if it's Ravenclaw and it's her Patronus?
Okay, so you guys think that someone who's dead can
That
cast
you
a
wanted
Patronus?
this.
No,
Their Patronus can be around.
I do not
I
think
don't.
so.
Well,
So does it that might be a
sometimes I
possibility?
think the Lily thing is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it could be, but even that, I'm not sure. And that's why
Well, that's why it's a theory.
it is a good theory.
You almost
but I just
feel
we're
like her
missing too
Patronus
many
would be a
pieces.
doe too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, she seems like that personality.
Yeah, doe energy. And I cannot
Nurturing.
believe that it would be Petunia though. And that would be like,
Oh
Can you
my
imagine?
gosh.
well, that's what I was thinking
Of
because
course it's gonna be because you're always freaking throwing
No,
these things out
but-
there, and I'm like, that's so weird. And they're like, guess what, guys? Danny was right.
well, we've thrown out so many theories. We're bound to be right on something, but this feels too weird. And
She wouldn't know about it.
yep,
I
it
don't
couldn't
think.
be. It just couldn't be. And if it was, the ploy would be too big. It just doesn't make sense. Dumbledore
Could
says,
it
"What
be
you have
Dobby?
to go protect
Did Dobby?
Harry every."
Dobby was alive, right? At this point,
He was at that point, yeah.
at
But
that point.
how? We haven't seen other creatures with Patronus.
Whatever. This is a theory.
But it could be a
is
ghost.
weird.
It could be a ghost, and Dobby could have told the ghost what to do.
Or a
But-
creature. Maybe
Wait, what?
creature found someone to help with them. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
don't
hope
know.
one of these are right.
And I'm just trying to think of all possibilities with an Imperious. Could you Imperious someone and get them to do a Patronus?
But
Or,
to be positive, like a good
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know. Or can Death Eaters do a Patronus? Like, could this be a ploy? Is there a reason not to trust the sword? Could the sword
Could
have
it
some
been?
kind of
Wait,
trap?
what's Percy's Patronus? Nah.
It must
he
be
be a
Weasel
doe?
adjacent,
Something
but even
easily.
darker. Actually, what was Ron an otter, or was he?
He was
Has
a
to be
Jack Russell
weasel.
Terrier.
Oh, but Mr. Weasley
Is a weasel?
A weasel?
Wait, I thought you were saying weasel adjacent because he's a weasel.
Well,
Like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But
Okay,
but then
yeah.
I'm like, but if the rest of his family is a weasel
Yeah,
and
he's a
good
weasel,
weasels,
yeah.
then he would have to be like a bad weasel.
You're so weird.
Like he can't just be like a normal cute weasel. Oh wait, it's Hermione who's an otter, right?
Yeah, Hermione's is an otter, yeah.
And then Ron is something that's cute with an otter because they're cute together.
He's a Jack Russell Terrier. Who have
Dog
no,
and
Jack
an
Russell
otter?
Terriers are famous for chasing otters.
Really?
Huh.
Kind of cute. I didn't know they were famous for that, and someone brought that point up in like a Reddit thread a while
That is
ago, and they're like,
cute.
it's kind of cute, right?
That is cute. I like
Chase
that.
otters.
Wonder how much research went into that.
How did they figure that out?
So true.
I know.
I don't know, like what animals
Such
go
a random
what?
pairing.
Googled.
Yeah.
So, give me just a final guess. One person who you think for each of you who you think this Patronus is.
I like yours and mine.
Wait, what's mine?
Gryffindor. Godric.
Oh no, that's not mine.
You literally started with that.
No, maybe I started with it, but he's like number 5 on my list, maybe.
Okay,
And it's not
whatever.
because he's alive.
Mine's Lily. I'm gonna keep that.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say Moody. Top guess.
Moody's gonna be a doe.
Yeah, why not? He's very sensitive.
I mean, I guess it makes more sense than anything else.
Only because I want him to be alive, and I feel like it would work, and there could be a reason he has to still pretend to be dead. That's why I want it to be him.
He's a doe.
That's the part you have the most trouble
Yes.
with? Not that he's missing an eye out there in the world all by himself.
No.
Would it be a one-eyed doe? That's the real question.
Whoa, that is a good question.
Because I haven't seen anyone that has like an opposite sex Patronus. Have we?
Interesting. That's a great.
That is a good point. It's also possible it already shed its antlers and is a stag, but out after shedding season.
Oh my god.
So
Only 'cause,
this
like,
was just
most
Harry and Ron
animals
not
are
knowing.
like it doesn't matter
No, you're
because you
right.
can't tell female male, but this is clearly
It
a
definitely
female.
feels like that's what it's saying.
So
Yeah.
that's what makes it weird, fitting but weird.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that any other time. But you're right. But would we even know any other time? Because all these other animals, you just wouldn't know. And you're not getting up under those
Now you're
Patronuses.
just getting on
You know
my.
what I mean?
Now you're taking my own evidence against me, Mr. Lawyer.
But
over
I
here.
still think it's Moody, so I'm not like changing anything. I feel like he's most likely.
That makes.
But
sense.
I'm not set on it. It's just a little bit of a hope and a prayer. And when it closes, something comes out of the snitch, something else falls into place. Moody jumps out from behind a rock, here to save the day. So
Ay, ay, ay.
You just are hoping Moody's still alive.
maybe Moody's still inside the snitch, actually, and he was doing the
He's the
Patronus
clothes.
from inside the snitch, and he's
been
following
with them
along
the
to
whole
protect
time.
them.
On that note, there's another line, and I want to know what you think of this person because he seems very dark. It says, "No, he's not dead," said McGonagall bitterly. "Unlike Dumbledore, he was still carrying a wand, and it only seems to have and he seems to have learned a few tricks from his master." With a tingle of horror, Harry saw in the distance a huge, bat-like shape flying through the darkness toward the perimeter wall. There were heavy footfalls behind them, and a great puffing Slughorn had just caught up. So Snape is able to fly like Voldemort's able to fly.
But not quite like Voldemort.
Yeah, not quite like him. But is he as dark as Voldemort?
Yeah,
He seems like it.
Is he darker?
Yeah, that's
Has
the real
he
question.
been a vampire hiding this whole time?
Yeah,
that's what I
great
said.
question.
Because did he just learn how to do this, or has he been doing it this whole time but faking it and pretending he didn't? Because vampires are a little ostracized. So,
well, yeah.
so
Well, his hair,
yeah,
it just gives it away.
and he's always walking around the hallways at night. He just doesn't sleep. So vampire, and he just gives those vibes. Do vampires have? That's why he has long hair to cover his ears.
That's why he didn't like Quirrell.
Wait,
Because Quirrell had garlic
That's
in his
just elves.
turban.
Whoa, yeah.
It all fits.
Covered his head.
Because
So-
it just feels like a weird trick. I'm also like, well, I guess he's good at magic and stuff, but I'm having a hard time picturing Voldemort and him doing like a learning sesh. Like,
Yeah.
let's teach
But
you
why
how to
is he
fly
like a
that.
huge bat? Like, if that was his Patronus, which it's not.
No, it would be a transformation. Of
I
some
meant that
kind.
like an animagus
Yeah,
thing.
Animagus, yeah.
But wouldn't
Wait,
you be
what do
a
you mean?
small bat?
And you said Patronus. We don't know his
I
Patronus.
didn't mean that. though.
But maybe it actually is, and that's also his animagus. So he could be an animagus.
But why
this
is he
could be just a
big?
transformation.
It makes me think he's a vampire.
If McGonagall
Heart
wanted to, could she turn
What
into a big
if Snape
cat?
was good and on Dumbledore's side and then got bit by a vampire and then turned bad and then traded, sided with Voldemort?
Because he's going to give him
Bit
rights.
by a vampire. Which vampire?
Ooh, Dracula.
He could be the
vampire.
Maybe he's
the one
maybe
at the party.
The first line. No, you know what? He made a potion that he drank and he became part vampire.
Who made the potion?
Snape.
Oh, because he's good at it.
He was trying things
a
out.
vampire potion.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at you guys becoming more like each other in your
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah.
Jen is going on with all sorts of crazy things. I love this.
Well, you said it has to stick. Something has to stick.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, because he could, his animagus, he might be transforming into an animagus here, but he might have just learned how to fly. So you don't really know what
But
his
he
animagus
looks
is.
like a bat.
I know.
But his hair is gross, so I guess that could look like wings.
Yeah.
Just sticks together.
But
Not
yeah,
like that,
I
but-
think.
Oh, like with his cloak, like the cape.
Yeah, what you think it could be just something like that, like a bit of a parlor trick. Like he's flying kind of like Voldemort, doing something funky with his cape. He's not actually a
Because
bat.
sometimes I thought Snape might be more powerful than
Well,
Voldemort.
this is the kind of
like
thing.
sneaky, right? Like he's waiting for the time.
Well, yeah, because we were even speculating that it could be like that, where he's trying to take over. Because if he can read minds better than Voldemort or whatever, because we're like, could he betray? But then I was like,
Can he read Voldemort's mind?
I don't think so.
Is he a better
I don't know.
wizard than Voldemort?
Because then
Or
if
is
he
a
does,
darker
then
wizard?
why is he following him?
I don't think he's better
Yeah, that's a great question.
than Voldemort.
Sorry, what were you saying?
But yours is great because he's trying to supplant him by following him. It's like, is he following him? And then, like, you know, maybe Voldemort's like goes away and then all of a sudden Snape rises to power and it's like,
That's what I
we have
keep
to,
wondering.
he's a more dangerous person.
It is weird how it went down, though, because he didn't. It's like when Voldemort died, he didn't just take over and continue his mission. It's like he knew to wait more. Again, he could have had a prophecy of some kind, but I don't know.
Couldn't he just been smart and like waited to see what happened? Like you're just waiting to see who
Who
what
actually
falls
comes
where.
out on top? And he knew that Voldemort wasn't dead, but just didn't know how to find him.
Or maybe he didn't care for him to come back, but he wanted to see who was on what side
Yeah, that's fair.
as things settle.
And I'm kind of equating it to like Star Wars things where like when you're evil, if you're on the dark side, you know betrayal is kind of it's in your
Yeah.
wheelhouse. So you're like most of the dark people would expect to be overthrown by their apprentice at some point.
Yeah.
It's the way of things. So when your apprentice becomes strong enough to overthrow you, you duke it out, winner take all, and that's just normal. And maybe it's the same with Voldemort, where he might even know at some point he'll be betrayed by somebody. But he
Only
tries to
because
keep people in submission.
he could read everyone's mind, but if Snape is really good, I feel like there's that barrier that he might not. And he could play like, you know, his right hand for so long until he snaps
But he,
on him.
I feel like Voldemort trusts Snape so much that there's something
Just like
more.
Dumbledore did.
Yeah, but Dumbledore wouldn't do an unbreakable vow. Only like the evil people would or something.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm thinking Voldemort knows something like that. You know? Like they're willing to, because binding someone, because unbreakable, if you break it, you like die, right? So in my mind, it's kind of that's like an evil thing. Like I want to have a vow that you literally can't get out of,
But
even
that's
if you
what I
want
thought
to,
was
it'll
so
kill
weird
you.
that Snape chose to do that with the Malfoys.
Why was that so weird? He wanted Narcissa to know that he was going to take care of Malfoy, Draco. And he was willing to like make the promise. So again, that's what makes me think he's okay with making these unbreakable vows with the people who are also evil that align with his thing, because he's like, he's already got a plan. He might have already been planning on overthrowing Dumbledore. So he's like, yeah, I'll make this vow because look, I was planning on doing that anyway. And so he was just kind of, it was on the path that he was on. And that's what I'm thinking. That's why Voldemort can have this kind of trust, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. He doesn't let anyone else that close. He doesn't trust people, but he still doesn't trust them with Horcrux.
No one knows about
Knowledge.
Horcruxes.
Except Harry. And that scares him.
Yeah.
So,
Do you trust Slughorn though? Because he comes up in this chapter a few times, and there's this one where he says, "My word," he puffed, pale and sweaty, his walrus mustache a quiver. "What to do? I'm not sure Whether all this is wise, Minerva, he is bound to find a way in, and anyone who has tried to delay him will be in most grievous peril. I shall expect you and the Slytherins in the Great Hall in 20 minutes also, said Professor McGonagall. If you wish to leave with your students, we shall not stop you. But if any of you attempt to sabotage our resistance or to take up arms against us within the castle, then, Horace, we duel to kill.
Whoa.
Minerva, he said aghast. The time has come for Slytherin House to decide upon its loyalties, interrupted Professor McGonagall. Go and wake your students, Horace. So do you trust him? Is he going to have like a bad role in this in the end?
I trust him just a little bit more than I don't trust him. But
Okay.
I'm skeptical.
51, 49%?
I'll even say 55, 60%
Wow,
trust
okay.
him.
He's just a bit oafish, maybe?
I hope it's that. I do. But I'm a little skeptical. And it feels like McGonagall, I'm basing it on McGonagall. It feels like she's in the same boat. She's saying, your time to choose is now, Horace. Almost like she knows there's a chance he could still betray them, but she's not worried about it. But she's saying, go get your students, and this is your moment. Choose. And I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with the students, but not all of them.
Yeah.
If some left when they figured out what was going on.
Interesting. So you think some Slytherins are going to stay?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think some will stay.
Against?
What?
You mean like choose the Death Eater side?
I'm saying some will stay to be loyal to Hogwarts, and some will leave to choose the Death Eater side. And if they don't leave already,
they all come from Slytherin anyway.
Because you can't trust the Slytherins. So let's say Draco doesn't leave. Crabbe, Goyle. If they don't leave and they come in like, let's get ready to fight.
Pretty sure Draco and his family's like dead.
Oh yeah, Draco maybe never came back to school. But Crabbe and Goyle, I don't know. So any of those guys, you can't have them fighting against their flesh and blood on the other side. There's not enough trust there. You don't want them betraying you mid-battle. So I'd say, you can... you don't want to lock them away. But at least send them away. But the rest of the Slytherins, they can be good.
So, so the next... what the next chapter is called. It's the Battle of Hogwarts. And I want to talk about a few predictions. But before we talk about predictions, I do want to ask one more question for this one, which is... what did you think about Percy's reunion?
Only a little bit skeptical.
Come on, this is supposed to be such a heartfelt
Honestly,
moment.
it was a heartfelt moment. I did like it. Well, you might want to give him a little bit of truth serum or something.
He goes, there was a scuffling and a great thump. Someone else had clambered out of the tunnel, overbalanced slightly and fallen. He pulled himself upon the nearest chair, looked around through lopsided horn-rimmed glasses and said, "Am I too late? Has it started? I only just found out, so I... Percy spluttered into silence. Evidently, he had not expected to run into most of his family. And there's a lot of silence in that moment, and he goes, "I was a fool," roared Percy so loudly that Lupin nearly dropped his photograph. "I was an idiot. I was a pompous prat. I was a ministry-loving, family-disowning, power-hungry moron," said Fred. Percy swallowed. "Yes, I was." "Well, you can't say fairer than that," said Fred, holding out his hand to Percy. Mrs. Weasley burst into tears. She ran forward, pushed Fred aside, and pulled Percy into a strangling hug while he patted her on the back, his eyes on his father. Lovely. You guys like that moment? You don't trust Percy?
I did like it.
Give
But
him
I was
spirit
looking
of
for
zero.
any clues that there was some
This
bad
is Voldemort
intention.
in disguise.
But the way he did say it made me think, all right, he could actually be good. Sounds like he really came around. And I don't think of him as being a good actor, so he would not be able to pull this off to his people if he was being sly.
Okay.
I don't think. What do you think?
As you take a sip, a chug, swig. That's the better word.
I underlined where he said, "I only just found out," and I said, "Can we trust him? How did he find out?"
Yeah.
I only just found out what.
Well, he says how he found out. He found out from Aberforth.
Okay, yeah. So then he does say that, but that feels kind of a little bit weird.
Aberforth is a little sketchy. So
Yeah,
kinda like
exactly. I'm like, how did he find out from Aberforth?
And then one of the final ones, where did Ron, Harry, and Hermione, or where did Ron and Hermione go? They went to the bathroom. Where are they though? Why did they just all of a sudden get up and leave?
Oh, aren't they going to like the Chamber of Secrets? That's what I kept thinking.
That's what you guys said during the live read. That we think it was the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh yeah, I did put the chamber question mark.
Why though?
Because there's something there, a Horcrux.
But-
John, that's why. There's something hidden in the deep depths of blah, blah, blah. And Hermione knows from the history books, and she's going to open it up.
From the history
And then
book.
he's going to open it at the close.
He's going to open it close.
This is so good.
I was going to say the Deluminator was guiding Ron, and they just ran off.
Huh, interesting.
Nice. You're probably right.
But how...
It's so annoying.
Because I'm just thinking, what, like, even if Hermione did remember something, what are the chances it would just be like an epiphany in the moment? Something would have to
She's great.
trigger it.
Yeah.
But what would that thing be?
A comment from anyone.
But it's something we would have to, like, we have to
know.
see. Or, like...
You could just say one thing and it triggers another. Like,
No,
that
it's
is
true.
how things happen, Dan.
But what was said? And what was triggered?
Who cares? It was
I
said.
do.
So what was
All right,
said
Percy owned up to it. Respect.
when Percy appeared and he said
I
something?
managed to make contact with Aberforth.
And that's what she heard, and she ran to the chamber.
Well, I don't know. They said something about a bathroom. So they kind of said where they were going. Something about a bathroom.
Or did they go to talk to Moaning Myrtle? That's what I thought of.
She is a good person to talk to,
good chat with the
along
ghost.
with all the other ghosts.
Because she's always in the bathroom.
Yeah, and she knew Tom Riddle.
So
So
I
true.
thought of that too.
Yeah, that's a good call. That could be
Does
the
that
reason.
suffice it for you?
It kind of, but I'd still want to know what initiated. Like they're just sitting there and they're like, "Let's go talk to Moaning Myrtle," or was it more of like, "Well, we don't want to sit here doing nothing, so let's just explore
Why
what
don't
our
you
options."
ask JK and maybe she'll tell you.
Maybe
I
they're
hope
real-
she tells
maybe they're
us
really in the
anyway.
bathroom, just in the bathroom.
Yeah, he might have just had to go. You know, something just didn't agree with him.
Or what
That's
about the
not what he was talking
wizarding?
about.
The wizarding cup? The wizard cup? What the heck was
Right?
Yep.
What about the wizard cup?
that? Remember when they went? Oh no, that has something to do with it. Though.
bathroom.
Oh, nice. I was thinking of the Moaning Myrtle with Harry in the big tub when he had the egg.
Right.
That name.
They're gonna walk to the bathroom.
The
Never mind.
big-
I'm not gonna even.
That was.
Moaning Myrtle. Is that you? Sorry, Harry. It's
Oh, I
fine,
didn't
never
even
mind.
put that together.
This is a children's book.
I know. Sorry.
That.
So
Those are my guesses.
They're interesting
and
theories,
Danny
so-
gave none.
they're going to talk to Myrtle. What are they talking to? So I'm going to go through all your theories real quick. They're talking to Myrtle. What are they talking to Myrtle about?
Where do you think the deepest, darkest place you can hide something in Hogwarts is?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe even just asking her to look for the crown.
Or did Tom Riddle have a favorite spot in Hogwarts?
Okay. Ooh,
yeah,
that's
great
good.
questions. Yeah.
Let's say they are going to the Chamber of Secrets. How do they even get into the Chamber of Secrets?
It's probably still open. Probably no one
They
fixed
never
it.
sealed it.
Never
Janitors
sealed up.
don't do that.
Or even if they didn't go in the chamber, Myrtle might be able to
Yeah.
for them. But did it say it was sealed? It might have.
It was
Otherwise, they could just
sealed?
turn the
I
tap
thought
and
they were-
open it up,
That's
right?
what I thought they
No,
were
it's parcel tongue. They'd have to speak parcel tongue in order to do it.
yeah.
Oh, so-
Well, yeah.
All right, I
right,
like my
okay.
Moaning Myrtle thing better. But maybe they recorded it.
Yeah, maybe.
Like open at the
Nice.
close.
Harry
they
sleep talks or
played
something
it.
like that, and Ron is like just hanging out there with the recorder. All right, he spoke parcel tongue when he
We
was
got
sleeping.
it.
Yeah.
Except they don't do that, right? They have no technology.
Well,
Yeah,
they could
exactly.
do it in the
That
form of a
nature.
howler.
There you go, there you
something
go.
along those lines.
Oh my. You're
Um, okay, so
Omnioculars might be able to pull it off too.
a few.
I'm a nerd.
I'm gonna ask
too.
a few next chapter questions, but before we do that, do you have anything else in this chapter? Before we do a few random questions that are really quick, like rapid fire, and then the final wrap up questions where we
Was
just
this
listen.
the last chapter?
No.
No.
Nobody has seen it in living memory. Talking about the
crown.
The diadem. But maybe Flamel.
Tiara.
Nicholas Flamel is older than everyone else. So
Okay. He
what's
might pop through and they might know from him.
So yeah, something like that maybe. I also love that McGonagall has triple patronus action going on.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
3 cats jumping out. I'm like, is that just super advanced? Or do they kind of work as one?
And can they really withhold like the dark magic coming into the Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Right.
Are they going to be able to stop this at all? They're good, but are they that good?
And even they say we'll just slow them down, but maybe not stop it.
And what is each teacher really good at?
Yeah. There's I'll spoil one little movie moment because it's like such a cute moment. But when McGonagall says "Pier totum locomotor," you remember what that spell does?
Yep, I definitely.
It has all the suits of armor leap into action, and she says, "Protect the school, man the boundaries, do your duty to this school." As soon as she says that, she turns back to another character and she goes, "I've always wanted to use that spell."
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
It's such a great moment in the movies.
Waiting on these spells for the right moment. Mm-hmm. When the Carrow brother thinks his sister is dead and McGonagall has to say she's just been stunned, I can't tell if that's because McGonagall is just so much better than them or if there's like something weird, like they're just not even good wizards. It made me think Death Eaters are kind of just subpar wizards a little bit where McGonagall, of course she's great, but like, yeah, it just kind of reinforces like,
except for Snape,
this weird thing.
That's because he wants to overthrow him.
Yeah. Where these Death Eaters are just like kind of followers and like, I don't know if they're outcasts or whatever, but it just feels like another example where they're just not Snape. Good at stuff. Yeah, that's definitely true.
So all the above.
I also thought it was weird. Where do vanished
Didn't someone say that
go?
though? Like you're almost reminding me of a Death Eater. Wasn't that in the previous chapter?
Mm-hmm. Oh, who reminding who of a Death Eater?
Someone that was good or a student. That I don't know. That was all I got. So it's
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what that was.
It was.
It was
with Aberforth?
I think it was with the goblin
picture.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember what you're talking about though, but I can't remember what that was.
It's basically saying like you're so dumb. You're like a death. You're reminding me of a Death
Aberforth
Eater.
Says that because Ron is like, oh, your Patronus was the dough, and he's like, I literally just did my Patronus like 2 seconds ago. With brains like that, you can be a Death Eater.
Yep. See? Wow. Look at that recall.
Good job.
It's rare.
I think that was all I had. Oh, I just said where do vanished objects go as being the riddle feels like a weird one because I thought they were going to say the room of requirement or something else, but then it's just a riddle. I was like, okay. Non-being.
All right.
Weird.
So Danny brought up this theory. Some of the Slytherins are going to come back. Which students will stay and which students will go? Let's go we're not going to go through the students. We'll go through house by house. Do you think any Slytherins will stay and fight? Because the next chapter is called the Battle of Hogwarts. This is when a battle happens, obviously.
I feel like most of them are going to leave.
Will any stay back?
I think some will. I'm just trying to think, do we know any? I'd love a good old change.
What if it's just Slughorn? But you think he'd go anyway.
The problem is the way Slytherins are now.
Problem with the Slytherin.
How would you hang out and just be a Slytherin with all these other terrible kids?
Yeah.
Could you stay?
Well, that's why Slytherin just should not exist.
Will
cut off.
Will all Ravenclaws stay? How many Ravenclaws will stay?
I think everyone except Slytherin.
So you think everyone's gonna stay, like full on stay, who can stay and fight except for Slytherin?
Or are you saying people are leaving for protection?
Do you think some people will leave for protection?
Probably afraid.
Yeah.
I think some people will leave from every house, kind of. But in my mind, just my natural thought would be 20% of the kids who are of age of every house would leave, but then it'd be the opposite, like 80% leave of Slytherin. Okay.
Well, all the young kids.
Are they all in the Great Hall just like
I have no idea.
hunkered down?
Yeah, so everyone, no, they're sent home. They're going to put them...
because Ginny, right?
Yeah, they're putting them back through the to Aberforth, and they're going to apparate away
right.
Aberforth's little place. So
yeah,
they're all being sent home. They're being sent away, home, wherever they're being sent away. All the kids above 18 can fight. So like, do percentages. How many of Slytherin do you think will stay? How many will leave?
I think
15.
25.
Stay.
15, 25 will stay?
Will stay, yeah.
Okay. How much of Ravenclaw will stay?
They're smart.
50.
50, interesting, okay.
Maybe they'll look at this from just the intelligence of it and say, we can't win. Now, I want to say they're all going to stay. All the Hufflepuffs will stay. They're very loyal.
Well, I was thinking Hufflepuff, yeah.
Gryffindors
and
are
also
brave.
no one knows.
So you think
like,
all Hufflepuffs will stay?
Yeah.
They're like team people. Team people.
Do you think all Gryffindors will stay?
They're brave, so yeah.
They should.
I don't know if I would, though.
Yeah, I think they all
like,
will.
I'm 17. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to think of the people we know. Is
They're like
Andy
all
still
already
there?
in there. Like it's like Neville and that's the only person I know that's another Gryffindor. Like who is in the DA?
Cho.
Is a Ravenclaw, right?
I was gonna say Hufflepuff, but wait, what is she? Maybe she is Ravenclaw. Actually, yeah, she is she? I'm forgetting.
I would hope a lot of people stay. I just don't expect anything out of Slytherins.
Yeah, I do not expect.
But
very
maybe
much out of
we
them.
would be surprised because they're like, they gave us a bad name, these Death Eaters. We're gonna show
Yeah,
you.
and that's what I keep thinking about, like the loyalty of the school, the whatever. That'll be a big moment of whether
hope so,
a
and
few
then
bad
I'll like
apples were
Slytherin.
spoiling our view of them, or are they actually bad apples?
So on top of that, it's going to be a dangerous thing for them to fight. Obviously, they're fighting Death Eaters and they're fighting Lord Voldemort and they're fighting Snape. They're fighting these wizards who are far advanced and far more skilled than them. And we've brought up this question before, but do you think anybody will die in the next few chapters? Like, is it is there
has
that
to.
much peril that there will be people who die in the next few chapters?
Yeah,
Probably.
next few
I
or
hope
like
it's
by the end
all
of the
like
book, for
bad
sure.
ones though.
Okay.
Then I'll be fine with
So
that.
give me a list of some characters that you think might die. Bad ones.
All of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Death
almost
Eaters.
all of them. You know who might survive?
Snape.
The Malfoys.
Interesting.
Only because we felt a little bad for them by the end.
Oh,
But
not Narcissa.
and you know what?
Right? That's her name.
One of the top 3 could survive. I'm saying Bellatrix, Voldemort, Snape. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them could be sent to Azkaban or Azkaban equivalent by the end of this.
Why would you keep them alive?
Just if you want to make more books later.
That's why they're gonna die. Because this is the last one.
Yeah, you're right. And I feel like she kind of did say this was going to be last. So maybe they do all have to die.
What if the Malfoys turn on their sister? What if they kill Narcissa, Bellatrix? Draco kills
dark.
Bellatrix.
Whoa,
That would be interesting.
that's dark.
No, it's revenge.
And that's dark.
Well,
Because you got to
we
dig
just
2 graves
watched-
and everything, you know?
Well, we watched another movie that's fine.
Yeah, I
with it.
love The Count of Monte Cristo too.
Ooh, great one. Yeah.
Never saw that. or
We're gonna
read
have
it.
to watch
That
it.
is good.
First time watchers.
Yes.
I was talking about Rebel Moon.
Oh, Rebel Moon. Yeah.
Do you think anybody who's good will die?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Give me a list.
I don't want to. Could it be the top 3? Could it be Harry, Ron, Hermione? What about Ginny? Or any of the Weasleys?
No, you know what? Maybe Cho though.
Fred. Oh, that's fine with me.
Well, I'm just saying because then it's like a little closure.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Neville, that would be sad.
You know what?
Luna.
McGonagall
so sad.
or Flitwick, probably.
But
'cause
they're
some
older, so they live their life,
Exactly.
but
Like
they're
we could almost feel
sacrificing.
okay about it, but there's gonna be
Eh.
pain, definitely pain. But who's the painful one? Moody comes back, but then dies.
Lupin.
I'm actually just curious for this too. Who are your top 3 favorite characters in the series so far?
That's what the heck of question is that?
What do you mean? What kind of question is that?
If you're saying favorite, meaning ones I definitely don't want to die.
No. I'm just asking, like,
Just
generally,
like people I generally like.
Yeah. Who like are just your favorite? And I'm not saying that they're
I
gonna die.
liked
Obviously.
Lupin, and I liked the trio.
Okay.
And Ginny's up there too. Oh, and Luna. There's
Ron.
Come more than 3.
I feel like Ron is my favorite.
Okay.
Now there have been moments in some of the books where I was like,
Ron.
but yeah, I think Ron is my favorite. And then people like Neville and Tonks are high up there. Luna is pretty high up there. She's again a little bit of a wild card,
Ginny.
so there are moments. Ginny, I like her.
He's giving more than 3 too.
But she's never been that high on my list. So those are my 3: Ron, Neville, and Mr. Weasley.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Mrs. Weasley.
Yeah, but she's not for me. She's not top 5.
She's not for me.
It was only top 3
Jenna's
and we made it top 5.
Well, no, I already have a top 5, kind of, just like theoretically. I'm just trying to think and make sure it's accurate because McGonagall is up there for me.
Percy sacrifices himself because he turned on his family.
He owes them.
Yeah.
Oof.
That would be intense.
That would be
It would be.
Ew. I could
Fred
see
and George.
Seamus,
Are your favorites?
Dean,
Oh,
Neville. They could
Oh,
all
you're talking
die.
about death.
Yeah, we went back to death accidentally.
Nice.
I like Fred and George too. There's too many. I
I
can't
do like
pick.
Fred and George. Oh no,
What?
one of them could
Well,
definitely
because
die.
they're twins.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's such a sad
No,
way
I
of
know
looking
that
at
is
it.
so
Oh my
harsh,
goodness.
but I'm just saying from a literary perspective, it would like make a lot of sense. It would simplify
Because they're
things.
twins.
No more
Simplify things.
confusion. Well, it's like a way that you can kill a character
like
without
one
anyone
person.
dying. You know, like it's terrible. I hate
They're
to
their
say
own
it,
individual people.
but they barely are. The only way we tell them apart is one's missing an ear. You know what I mean? It's like
That's terrible. Oh my
like
goodness.
they were never separated. We just know Fred's a little more talkative,
Yeah.
you know, and a little braver. So that's what I'm just saying. Now that you said that, I'm like, shoot, one of them is gonna die. That does stink.
Oh, this is so funny.
Oh no. But not for sure, because we could still see there's still fun things you can do with
He just had his
twins.
own devastating moment.
But I was just like, that actually does stink because that would make a lot of sense. Because they're close enough to the main characters that we would feel the pain, it would hurt, but we'd be able to recover from it because.
Yeah, but she's killed
wouldn't
off
be
main
losing.
characters too, so it doesn't even matter.
But she can't kill anyone else more main than them, though. You know what I mean? Like Harry obviously can die. He's been preparing for
What
it.
if Fox comes back to help fight? That'd be great.
But
Yeah,
how?
that was kind of my next question. Just give me a general thing of what you think is going to happen in the next chapter.
I think everyone's gonna protect Hogwarts, so it doesn't even matter who they're against.
Wait, sorry. What do you mean?
Like the ghosts, the
Oh,
portraits,
nice.
the creatures, what about the what are they called? Like
House
creature, yes, house
Whoa,
elves.
cool.
That'd be cool.
They're fighting. You think they
I
should
think
fight,
they
or
all
you think they should be
should
set free?
fight. Well, yes,
both.
they should free will choose if they want to fight, but I think
Yeah,
they
nice.
would fight
Not
Yeah.
slave fighters. No, you're right. I
at
feel
their
like
own free will.
there are a lot of little curveballs.
And like I feel like Hogwarts would fight itself.
Like the school itself.
Yeah. Like
help
the
will be
rooms
given.
would turn into
No, you're right.
and the furniture, like in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
I
good
love that.
comparison. I was like, why does this sound familiar?
I love it mentions too there's like suits of armors for animals, and the suits of armor for animals jumps up and like is
Yeah,
ready to
that's
protect
cool.
the castle too. It's great.
Yep. I think that's what will happen. And then we find the clothes where it opens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the weird part. I feel like they
Maybe
still
it opens
haven't
at the
found
close of
anything.
the school.
Is that now?
Like
or
a
like they
certain,
go to the
like,
front door and they
area.
actually like close the door and put a
don't
lock
know.
on it, and that's like the
Or
close.
go to Dumbledore's office.
All right. Well, keep theorizing. Let's go into favorite. Who's your favorite character? Hot tamale and favorite moment in this chapter, and then we're just gonna listen. All right. Give me a hot tamale of this chapter.
McGonagall. I just took away the Mick.
McGonagall.
She's great in this chapter.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to give her the house cup, so I'm trying to think if there's anyone else with the hot tamale energy.
She could be a triple threat.
I was going to say she might get both.
Yeah.
The only other thing I was going to say was, did Luna stun somebody?
Yeah, Luna stunned one of the Carrows.
Alexa Cara.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So nonchalantly.
And she's like, oh, I've never done that to a real person.
Yeah.
Only in the DA's training. So I thought that was like funny
Yeah,
because it
forgot
was
about
so
that.
like boom. So that
Look
felt
at
like hot
Harry's
tamale,
training
like,
worked.
I know.
It's true. Yeah.
It's great.
So I feel like I want to recognize that moment. So yeah, anyways, she'll get hot tamale from me.
I like that. I'm going Ginny actually for hot tamale.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Because
she's
she's
in
like
it.
trying to fight and she can't. It was great.
And then she's like, "Fine, mom,
so
I'll go."
sad. Yeah. I love her
Yeah.
passion on that. It's
I
great.
feel like it's probably good because she could be on the outside, and then if they really need help, she can come.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who is your favorite character? I'm going McGonagall.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm saying. I
You know?
think she's getting all three from
She
me.
had such a good chapter. It's such a good McGonagall chapter.
Yeah. It's like the chapter we've been waiting for.
I know, seriously.
She also has like such a good name.
Yeah.
Like how she
So
picked
true.
her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minerva
McGonagall.
McGonagall. What's your favorite moment in this chapter?
McGonagall.
Yeah.
Mine was Percy's redemption.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Harry
good.
defending McGonagall.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
good
See, that's
yeah,
what
that
I mean.
moment.
Yeah.
I was
stands
like, that was
out.
fantastic.
The passion. But McGonagall and Snape kind of fighting, I feel like that moment, or like McGonagall trusting Harry, like I think from Harry's reveal and that like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? And then like, wait, Dumbledore told you, like that trust, something about it
She didn't
reminded
even like
me
ask
of like
questions after that, right?
right. It reminded me of when Harry was having that bad dream and she just like jumped to action, you know, where he's like, Mr. Weasley's in trouble. We need to take action right now. And she was like, all right, let's do this. So same kind of thing. There's just a bond and trust that I loved. So yeah, I feel like that reveal was my favorite.
Love that. Well, thanks for joining us on this journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Let's listen. Let's listen in.
Whoa. Wait,
All right.
can I need
We're going to take a breather, a bathroom break, and then we'll listen.
People should probably take bets on if I'm going to stay awake.
I'm going to take a bet 100% no. But
It's just a matter of how long.
Yeah.
You know? Over under 5.5 minutes. You know?